So hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I just want to talk about a project that I've been eyeing for a long time. I've seen other people talk about it, but I wanted to do a little bit deeper dive into the project and then also hold off, not get into the FOMO and really take a hard look at this project before getting into it. Now, before I get started, remember that none of this is investment advice. The crypto market is extremely volatile. And you know what? 90% of the people who invest in crypto lose their money. So I want to make sure that you do your own due diligence and research before you get into any project. Furthermore, I'm not sponsored by any project. I will always be transparent and tell you if I have a bag in this project or if I am sponsored by any projects, but in this video, I am not sponsored by anybody. So I'm just going to give you my raw thoughts and what I think about the project and where it's going. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So many of you have heard of ZETA Chain or the ZETA token. Now this project was being worked on since 2021, but recently launched their mainnet on February 1st of 2024. If you take a look at their charts right over here, on the first day of trading, you can see that it touched about $1.85, which gave it roughly a $360 million market cap. And since then, it slowly has traded down, right? Its price has normalized, just like many other shiny projects that come to the market right away. Think about Jupiter, okay? I love Jupiter, I love the Solana system, but would I invest in it within the first couple of days? Definitely not. I would wait until the price normalized. Take a look at TIA or Celestia as well, right? So every single project has had that huge launch and run up and then had its price normalize, right? So in today's video, I want to answer the question of, is it worth it? Is this project here to be a long-term sustainable project, or is it just all hype? So first off, what is ZETA Chain? Now, if you just take a look at their website, you can see their slogan is that they are fast, they are simple, and a secure omni-chain blockchain. To me, ZETA Chain is a proof-of-stake mechanism blockchain that's built on the Cosmos SDK and has smart contract functionality. So at the heart of it, it functions really a lot like Thorchain. So it's interoperable across multiple chains. So I think that this diagram explains it all. ZETA Chain wants to be that omni-chain, the chain that connects every single blockchain. If you take a look at this diagram right over here, theoretically, any application that is built on ZETA Chain would be able to read and write and connect to all other blockchain. So essentially, any application that is built will be able to leverage on features of all blockchains as if it was being built on a single blockchain. It would solve a lot of the problems, sending assets, messaging back and forth between the different blockchains without having different representations or synthetic assets on every single blockchain. So the other nice thing about ZETA Chain is that it also supports non-smart contract platforms such as Bitcoin right over here and Dogecoin. So it works with native smart contract platforms that do ERC20 like Ethereum or Polygon or BNB chain, but it also works with non-smart contract platform. It has the support for that. So ZETA Chain right now has a very hot proposition that would solve a tremendous problem for a lot of users across different blockchains. So if you just jump onto their ZETA docs or their white paper, you can see they talk about ZETA Chain being a proof-of-stake blockchain that's built with the Cosmos SDK using a PBFT consensus mechanism. We're not going to talk about Byzantine fault tolerance today. That's for a different day. But at the heart of it, they say that ZETA Chain, because of how it's built, it enjoys a very fast block time, 5 seconds, and instant finality. So no confirmations needed, no reorgs, which is a significant advantage of ZETA Chain. So enough with the tech, let's go on and take a look at other aspects of ZETA Chain that makes it a very attractive project. So I just wanted to quickly touch upon the team members and then also the VC funding for this project as well. So Ankur Nawalwani right over here, he used to be on Coinbase. So he worked for Coinbase and then he also went on to found the BAT token as well. So there are a lot of team members that are reputable on this team. Now looking at their funding, they actually raised $27 million for their novel, layer 1 blockchain that connects all chains, including Bitcoin, Cosmos, and Ethereum. Now, if you take a look at some of their funders, you can see some notable names, right? Like blockchain.com. You can see Jane Street Capital right over here. Those are some of the major VCs within this industry. So this project certainly received a lot of funds to get it well on its way. And then if we take a look at the tokenomics that's broken down right over here, you can see that in total there's 2.1 billion tokens to start with. And then in terms of the token breakdown, so notice right over here, user growth, this was their airdrop, 210 million right over here, 10%. The ecosystem fund is 12%, and notice validator incentives right here, 10%. Liquidity incentive, 5.5%, protocol treasury. So inside of their treasury, 24%, and then the core contributors, 22.5%. So core contributors and purchasers and advisors. So if you add this up, this is almost 40%. So that's a significant portion of the token. I'm going to show you another graphic that depicts this as well. Now, as a part of their user growth fund, remember that this was actually allocated. So this was the mainnet launch, right? So a significant portion of that was actually dropped on mainnet launched, okay? And then if you take part in their quest campaign right over here, it's 2.5%, and then the mainnet users. So they'll talk about 6% of that 10% that is going to be going towards the mainnet users, okay? So we expect further airdrops from that 10% of user growth right over here. So here's that same data shown in a different representation. You can see that still the core contributors along with the purchasers and advisors makes up a significant portion of it. So here's the protocol treasury, and then this is the remaining tokens right over here. Now, most of these tokens are still locked right over here. There's only a little bit that's unlocked. If you go down to its vesting structure, okay, so right over here, we're at this date right now. There's very little that is unlocked right now. So if we take a look at it right over here and we add it up, it's less than, so 4.5, so 3 is 7.5, 9% right over here, okay? And then you could take a look that all these other tokens are going to be unlocked at a much later timeline. And if we switch to the chart right over here and we go to sort of today's date, okay, that's June. So we're right over here. It says total unlock about 1.4%. And if you go right over here, you know, in June, there's still only a couple percent, and then as you go along, it's going to be a huge unlocking. So we do expect dilution from this token. Now, if we go back to here, we could see that about, it says right over here, it says only 1.27% is unlocked, okay? And then it's untracked, 10% of it. But if we take a look at the price of ZETA Chain right over here on CoinMarketCap, we could see that roughly right now, the market cap is 289 million with about, in terms of tokens that are unlocked, about 11%. So that 10% plus the 1.2 something percent, that's where they get the 11% from. And then the fully diluted market cap, so it's almost a 10 factor, right? So you have to be prepared for a large dilution that comes later on. But this is not that different from a lot of tokens that are launching right now. So if you look at TIA, Celestia, okay, if you look at, you know, Jupiter, if you look at all the new hot projects, and even Solana at the beginning had a huge unlocking, but eventually did not make a significant damp on the price. But right now, without the demand for the chain, there will be a huge unlocking and I think a huge dilution of the price. Right now, the mainnet is live, right? The mainnet is live. We're getting these transactions coming in with each block, right? 61 transaction, 56 transaction, 68 transaction. So you're starting to see some data. And if you jump into a specific transaction, you can see that the sender is sending it from BSC into the ZETA Chain. Okay, so the mainnet is live right now. I'm just going to go back, take a look right over here. And if you go to the two chains, so on the Ethereum, so ZETA on the Ethereum chain, if you notice right here, there's about 2,200 holders, okay? You can take a look through the transaction, and if you look at BNB, so on the BSC, right over here, there is about 12,000 holders. So altogether, roughly 14,000 holders, and you can take a look at the different transactions. So the chain is live and operating right now. And if we just take a look at DeFi Llama, you can see that there's only 633,000 in terms of TVL, total value locked, that's locked on the chain. And remember that it's trading at $1.22 at a 287 million and 2.6 billion market cap in terms of FDP, fully diluted value. Right now, it's only hosting 633,000. Now, mind to tell you, most of the volume is on the DEX right now, and it's a very tiny volume because the chain just got started. So I do think that looking at TVL and then looking at fully diluted market cap, that's a significant diluted market cap. Like we said, a lot of dilution will be coming. 90% will be hitting the market in the later years, okay? But of course, in crypto, price does not reflect value all the time. So this is why I never ape into tokens on the first day, right? If you take a look at the charts of ZETA Chain, ZETA right over here, you can see that on the first day, it's a bit chaotic. It wicks up like crazy, right? And at one point, it was over $2. I feel bad for the people who purchased it at $2, right? The TVL to the FDV, or the market cap right now, $240 million. The TVL is not even 1% of the chain. You could see that people are way overpaying for the chain right now. Does it mean that it's a bad project? Absolutely not. I like ZETA Chain. I like their ideas. I like what they're trying to accomplish. And this is a project that I really do put on my radar as something where I could see a good entry into as I see more activity on the chain. There's already 14,000 holders on the chain, and you can see that the chain is live. It has good VC funding. You just have to wait for a good price entry. So if we take a look right over here, the chart starts to normalize out. It's trying to find support at $1.30, but really it's in price discovery right now. As the price starts to drip down right over here, it starts to look a little bit more attractive, and buyers will step in at that point. But right now, personally myself, I haven't aped into the ZETA Chain. I am putting it on one of my top priorities to watch, such as project like Jupiter, one of the best DEXs on Solana right now, and something like Celestia. So if you take a look at Celestia or TIA, it's still holding up at $16, $17 today. So it 10x from its opening, but that's a different project for a different day. All I'm saying is that ZETA is a project to watch out for. Where would I be comfortable getting in? I think I'd be comfortable getting in when they're probably less than $150 million market cap. So as this thing starts to retreat and retrace a little bit more, I would be a little bit more comfortable getting in. So the other thing about ZETA Chain is that they have a very strong following. So if you look at their X account right over here, there's almost 1 million people who is following ZETA right now, and they're pretty active and lively on there. So I would definitely put them on your radar, right? Give them a follow, and then follow along and see where they're at, because I think that they are building something great, and their tech looks really cool. It would solve a big problem, and it is something to watch out for. So good project to watch out for, but definitely find a good point entry before you enter into this project. Okay guys, I hope that you enjoyed that video and you found the content helpful and valuable. So if you did, please give it a like, consider following, and I will see you in the next video.